What's up everyone, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another episode of my Dear John Q&A series. On this show, I take a detailed viewer question that you guys leave in the comments section down below, and then I answer in video form if I feel it needs more context and explanation. On this episode today, we're going to be talking about opinions and the fact that they change and evolve over time, or do they? Are we always tethered to our original opinion that we put out in the world, or are we allowed to evolve? Do we change opinions, or are we always tied to something in the past? We're going to get into it in just a second, but please, if you enjoy the video today, then drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new here, and also consider supporting me on Patreon at the top link down below. It helps videos like this keep coming on both of my channels, and your support truly means a lot. Without further ado, let's get to that viewer question. Dear John, here's one for you. What are your thoughts on those that say opinions change over time and those that always hold someone to their original point of view on an album or song? I think opinions change over time, and from what I've seen on your channel, it seems like you've embraced that with redemption reviews and the like. Can you talk a little bit about changing opinions? Thank you for that awesome question. I do think that you already kind of touched on it in the sense that you referenced my redemption reviews series. I started things like redemption reviews, throwback reviews, and even my show I Got It Wrong that I do on occasion because I wanted to touch on changing opinions, or perhaps something that I got wrong, for lack of a better term, the first time around. That could mean maybe I forgot about something that was really important or crucial to me understanding the record, or maybe I didn't know about it, or maybe my mindset was wrong at the time that I went into the record and I was expecting something for all the wrong reasons. It's a variety of different things, but I also think that it's okay to put out updated thoughts on something later. Opinions do evolve, and I 110% agree with that. I started those shows, and you can of course hold me to my opinions that I've put out in the past, because at one point in time I did believe that, but asterisk on that, I would say you can hold me to that to the extent that if I've never offered anything else on that subject, then I can be held to it. People obviously learn and grow. This doesn't just apply to music, but over the years, opinions and thought processes change. Obviously, we don't think the same way that we did when we were 7. If we did, then we'd probably still all be out here jamming our Kids Bop compilations. But fortunately, or unfortunately for some of you in the audience, I'm sure, that is not the case. And at this point in time, I just see I Got It Wrong in redemption reviews, or even throwbacks that I do occasionally, or things that I put out on Twitter to give you updated thoughts. I think that that's enough for me to say, okay, this is a new perspective that I've found on this record, or this song. I've come around on it. I've changed my mind. I've even done episodes of my series 7 on Sunday where I talk about songs that I used to hate but now love. And I've done it the other way around. Songs that I used to love but now hate. It's something that definitely happens to us. I think that our perceptions change and they evolve, and that's very, very natural for it to happen. But some people seem so tethered to the idea that if you put something out once, then that is all that you ever are. If you initially hated an album from the Black Keys, from Vampire Weekend, from somebody else in the music market, then you're always going to hate that. And even if you put out a statement saying, oh, I no longer feel that way, something unlocked for me and now I get it with this record, some people are going to be like, no, you still hate it. That's what you are. You're just a hater. You're tied to this forever. Or the other way around, I have seen it in some places, subreddits and other feeds that I've browsed before, where someone will be like, well, I used to love this record, but now I'm not feeling it so much anymore. Maybe I used to love the Ghosts 1 through 4 by 9 Inch Nails, but now I can no longer just get into it. I can't seem to focus on the right mindset, and I feel like maybe I've outgrown a certain piece of music. And some people will come in and say, well, you used to love it, so you actually do still love it, you're just not allowing yourself to. And I think that mentality is kind of messed up in a lot of ways because it doesn't allow others to feel like they can grow, like they can naturally progress or move on from something, or maybe on the other side of the spectrum, grow into something. Like initially the band Radiohead, I gave kind of strong opinions on before, saying that I could not get into them, I didn't understand the hype at all, and now look at me, I'm out here reviewing their albums and giving them perfect scores. I've definitely fallen in love with a lot of their music, and that's just the way that things have been over the past 2 to 3 years. Now that's something that I see as a positive for myself, but many people are going to look back to the past, unfortunately, and say, you know, this just isn't happening. You're still just somebody who never got them initially, so you're not smart enough to understand their music if you didn't get it on the first listen. Opinions change and evolve over time, obviously. Whether you want to admit that to yourself or not, if you don't accept that, then tough luck, Buster. Chew on some truth serum. If you're curious about how I myself handle changing opinions over the years, how do I relay information, maybe a small change or a big, I'll start by talking about the small, and if it's something where I revisit a record from Catfish and the Bottlemen or Soccer Mommy or The Strokes, I'll go back if it's a small change, like within like a point or a half a point or something like that. Maybe I initially gave it a 3, now I'm feeling like it's a 3.5. I will go to that initial review and either leave a pinned comment, or more often than not, I will go to the description where people check the score and I will put an updated version of the score and put a date or at least a year when I actually updated it. There's many examples of when I've actually done that, and sometimes I'll put it out on Twitter as well and say, you know what, this album no longer holds up for me, or this is something that I can't believe I missed it the first time around. How did I not wrap my head around this and say this is great? And for the drastic scenarios, I'll make an episode of Redemption Reviews where I feel embarrassed of my first review, or an episode of I Got It Wrong where I truly admit fault. Maybe I didn't know something, maybe I didn't have all the facts, or like I said before, I didn't have the right mindset, so I make a new, updated review with actual thoughts. I hope that everyone enjoyed the discussion today on changing opinions right here on Dear John. Let me know in the comments section down below. For changing opinions, do you think that drastic changes are definitely allowed? You're allowed to grow and think differently over time? Or for some reason, I'm willing to hear both sides of the argument, do you think that we're always held to our past opinions? Like I said myself, I do admit that if I put something out in the past, then sure, if I haven't given updated thoughts on it, then I might be tethered to that. But I think it's also somebody's responsibility at times to look into it a little bit more, especially if it seems like something really old and maybe somebody has given thoughts on it, an updated view, an updated perspective. Then seek that out as well and see if there's new information on a topic, not just from me, but from critics and other people in general. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe for the love of music. If you want to catch up on more episodes of the Dear John Q&A, then tap this playlist right here, or tap here for another recent video I posted on the channel. If you want to connect with me on social media, including my Patreon page that I plugged earlier, there's an annotation in the corner for that, and the other links are in the description. I'll see you soon for more right here on Beyond ARTV.